Welcome back to another subscriber home review where my subscribers send me videos of their homes and I review them or critique them or give them feedback on their place. These are really fun because I get a ton of entries from people all over, so it's just really interesting to see their spaces. So today we're going to take a look at 3 of my subscriber homes and I'm going to give you my honest review. Well, let's get started on today's video of reviewing my subscribers' homes round 3. We're starting off with Krista from Vancouver, Canada, where her and her husband built their own home from the ground up. And I'm just curious to see what the decor looks like at a snowy little cabin in Vancouver. Right away, you can tell this cabin, or I guess it's not even a cabin, it's their permanent home, but I guess you can live in a cabin. Anyways, it's a very clean and modern cabin or house. So if they ever wanted to move out of this place, this would be actually a very ideal Airbnb. The kitchen is very nice and crisp and clean, and I like that they did the green cabinets. That's obviously a very trendy thing right now, but it looks nice in this home. It adds a little pop of color, and the butcher block counters are nice. Again, it's just very crisp and clean. So I think adding in some maybe vintage stools could help. Right now it looks like they just kind of have stools from maybe their previous home. Maybe some vintage artwork to the left of the window, and then maybe some more artwork or a mirror above the little shelf. I also would suggest maybe getting some window treatments, which I'm sure they're thinking about, but especially the one above the sink, you could do something really unique, like a really cool Roman shade that, again, brings in some nice fabric and maybe a pop of color or just some pattern. I guess they have like a hammock hanging from the ceiling, or I don't know what that is. That like those dancing things, or I don't know what that is, but it feels like it's taking up a giant amount of the space. But I guess if they use it all the time, honestly, no comment on that thing. I don't know what it is. I love the tiny little fireplace and that they kind of made the seating area surround that little fireplace. The only suggestion I would have is to get a bigger rug. I think that rug is just a tad too small. Like the little chairs are barely making it onto the rug. And then B, if they have the funds, to maybe get a couch that isn't so modern and trendy right now. I feel like the cabin itself is already very modern feeling with the concrete floors. So maybe finding a sofa that, I don't know, is just a little bit cozier feeling, maybe a little bigger and less modern. I don't know though, because they have some very traditional vintage chairs at the same time. I'm just not a huge fan of that very trendy leather couch, unfortunately. Bedroom is pretty general. Again, it's feeling very Airbnb to me. So I think my main suggestion for not only the bedroom, but all of the rooms is to add in more personal touches like artwork or photos. And again, I think you need a large rug in the bedroom, but I think their incorporation of very Danish, Swedish, like modern furniture with a few antique pieces is really nice. In the end, I think they just need fabric. That's pretty much it. There's a lot of concrete, a lot of wood. They literally just need fabric, rugs, throw pillows, curtains, throw blankets, just stuff to make it feel more comfortable. Because you're in the middle of the woods, you have a fireplace. It's just a little bit stark and modern. So I think, yeah, just adding in comfortable pieces. I also really love the outside. That's kind of similar to my parents' lake house with the black. And I like their light wood. Also, I really want to visit Canada. So, okay, now we're going to look at a renovation by Chelsea, who lives in Utah. She lives in a 120-year-old schoolhouse that was renovated into a condo. She has a very simple style, but I like that she adds in pops of color. I really like that piece of artwork that is hung in her family room. And while her place is all white, like mine, she's adding pops of color in through art, and other things, which is literally what I'm always recommending. Her kitchen island is very interesting. Would I have that in my own home? No, but I actually really like it. I think it's really cool and interesting, and the colors are kind of a good choice. I don't know if I would personally want it in my space though, but I do like it. And I do think that open shelving will never go out of style because I'm just always going to want to display my dishware. So I just want open shelving, okay? I'd be curious to see what this place looked like before the renovation, if there were, cool characteristics that they could have kept, because it was an old schoolhouse. So I'm not a huge fan of how modern they made this feel, because I'm sure it had just some really unique architecture that they could have kept. I really love the bathroom with the blue tile. I think her incorporation of color is pretty spot on. Like, it's not overwhelming, but it's just in like bits and pieces through the tile in the bathroom or the orange wallpaper as you enter. She has a very Hay design aesthetic, Hay, if you haven't heard of that home decor company. That's definitely her vibe and her aesthetic. Look at me, I said vibe again. And while I do love that natural plywood look, and I have that in my own home, I have natural plywood shelves, I'm very curious to see if that becomes super dated or not. I do personally like it, but is it going to be so dated, kind of like the cherry wood cabinets, where we're going to be like, ooh, why did we do this? I guess only time will tell. But I like that little vanity, and I like the mint green faucets. Again, her pops of color are really, she's just good at it. I like that. While I'm not the biggest fan of the wallpaper she chose, I really like how she wallpapered the little area that's her office. Taking wallpaper to differentiate your areas, especially when it's like in a little nook. I love wallpaper. So while I'm not the biggest fan of that one in particular, I do like it. I keep saying that. I do like it. Absolutely love that piece of art that's behind her bed. You know me, I like giant art, and everything else is just kind of whatever. The bed frame is, I think Floyd makes that bed frame, which you never can go wrong. The brick wall, I want to say, is original from the schoolhouse, but it also doesn't look original at the same time. Also, she has the Deucin bedding quilt that was just in my previous video. One of my subscribers sent me that quilt in my video of should I buy this or whatever stuff, and I said yes, I do like it. The only suggestion I have is to maybe incorporate a few more vintage pieces. You have a very modern take on design, which I love, but you could add in just like, that one little vintage piece of artwork. Okay, now we're heading to Amsterdam to look at Sarah's home. She actually lives in an old hospital, literally a hospital room, which is very eerie and interesting. It looks like she did a ton of renovation work herself, which is interesting. I actually kind of like the red floor. I don't know if I would keep it, and I guess we'll see if she did keep it. I like it. Like, I want to say keep the red floor, but it's a pretty, decently sized apartment. I don't know if you would want that much red. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Caraway. I'm currently living at my parents', so I decided to whip out my new Caraway pots and pans to cook them dinner. Right away, I was immediately impressed by the quality of these pots and pans. I was super close to selecting the red set, but decided to go with the gray. I also really love that the Caraway cookware set is made of ceramic and is 100% non-toxic. It is a much safer alternative to the traditional non-stick cookware, which I personally do not purchase. Tonight, I am cooking my parents some rice and some veggies and this Mongolian type chicken recipe. Caraway's pots and pans were extremely easy to use, and what makes them even better is that they're extremely easy to clean up. I'm super excited to have this new cookware set because it is not only non-toxic, it is extremely easy to use, and the food tasted amazing. And I am not the best cook, so I will take anything that can help me. Click the link down in my description for 10% off site-wide for the next 2 weeks. Thank you again, Caraway, for sponsoring this video. So first off, it looks like she painted the floors, and I love the color that she chose. It's like a beigey, it's not quite concrete like the first house we saw, but along those lines, but with a little bit of warmth to it. The layout of this whole space is really great. She did a really excellent job on that. My only suggestion in the family room would be to pull the rug out a little, like it's a little too tucked under the couch. When it comes to rug placement, I usually don't have the back legs of my couch on the rug, if that makes sense, unless you have a giant rug. I love her little coffee table she has. She has a really nice color palette. It's like these muted tones, but then pops of oranges and yellows and a little bit of green. I'm into it. The vintage cabinet is great. I love the vintage cabinet. I think that the little lounge chair next to it is nice, but I feel like in that area, you actually could have a really big lounge chair, something like really comfortable to lay on. A lot of your other objects are kind of small, and there's definitely space for a nice big chair. I love the lamp that's on her table. I love that lamp so much. Wow, I think that might be my favorite piece out of this whole video. That lamp is really good. The colors are amazing. She said it's from Budapest in the 60s. So we will never be able to have the same lamp as her, and that is so good. And that's like the type of mixing you want to achieve in your space. Like if you have an IKEA dining table, which she has, throw a little vintage lamp on there. There you go. See what I mean? You don't have to buy expensive things. You just gotta mix the IKEA with something from Budapest. She said she likes to use this back area as like her dance workout space. And I think it was smart of her to put this area towards the back of the space so that you're not really walking through like a workout area to get to your living space. And she was also smart by putting a mirror towards the end of her space because it, again, opens it up and it kind of makes the space feel longer than it is. But you know me, I absolutely love having mirrors in every room. She says it feels like it's missing something, and I don't know what it is, except maybe incorporating something a little taller. Like maybe it's a bookshelf that goes in the back, something that doesn't take up room but adds height. I think you need some height. Maybe it's just like a big floor lamp even. You just have a lot of small short pieces, and I think what it's missing is just something a little taller, like a floor lamp or hanging the art or maybe a big tree, something tall. She said she found these paintings by the dumpster. Those are such good paintings and fit in her place perfectly. I want those paintings. And there's nothing better than finding art out at your dumpster, because look how good that is. Really into that art. Okay, first off, her kitchen is so cute. This whole little area underneath the loft is adorable, and I've always wanted a wardrobe that I could have out like on clothing racks. I feel like I'm not as organized, but she has such a beautiful collection and has it just so nicely organized and color coded and like cute little hangers, a vintage little dresser. The whole thing is just really, really nicely done. This is a great space to take inspiration from if you live in a small little loft, and how to create little areas so that if you're in a studio or just one big lofted area, kind of creating little sections but not really dividing them off. She did a really good job at that. It sounds to me like she built this loft to sleep in, or maybe it came with the place, but it's so good. I like how it's on this like diagonal, so it's really just your bed and a little side table, and she just put it together so nicely. And then having the little plants on the end, it just looks like such a pleasant little place to sleep. And then she also has a little lamp up there that just gives it a nice cozy vibe. I think my only suggestion for this little lofted space would be to replace the IKEA pendant lamp. You can just tell it's IKEA. Not that that's a bad thing, but this is such a cute little area that she could have just a really unique little lamp that you could thrift from an antique store or Etsy or wherever. My other suggestion would be to put a little piece of art, just a cute little vintage piece of art on the right side of her bed. Just a little piece of vintage up there to really tie in the space. But otherwise, I think it looks really nice. Overall, I think her space came together really nicely. She's the perfect example of a home that has pieces from IKEA, pieces that she has thrifted, pieces that she found in the dumpster, and kind of put it all together to create a really nice, cohesive home without spending a ton of money. All right, that is it for this video of subscriber home reviews. It was really interesting that everyone kind of had similar spaces, yet they all live in different areas around the world. A lot of them had very modern Scandinavian style while incorporating vintage pieces. Everyone was very unique, but it was interesting that how similar they were at the same time. I'm interested to do a review on some homes that have very unique and interesting architecture. So if you have a home that has really cool or interesting architecture, submit for a home review, or anyone who wants to submit for the next home review, send to hi.paigewassel@gmail.com. I'm going to keep doing these because they're just fun. And it's fun to see people's spaces, especially like normal people, you know, not giant celebrities, just seeing how normal people are living and how they're decorating their homes. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe because we have a ton of videos. I mean me. I'm going to do a little moving video coming up, and then I'm going to be in LA, and then I'm going to be, nobody knows where I'm going to be next. So only the universe knows where I'll be next. And if you want to follow along, make sure to subscribe. Wow, I told you to subscribe twice in this video now, or maybe 3 times. I don't know. I'll see you all next Sunday. Bye.